Okay, let me try to get a little closer. All right, guys, we're going to do the guided practice problems, day 2 on multi-step equations. Remember that we're following our 4 steps or doing the reverse of order of operations. Okay, let me post those real quick for you. The steps that we're going through here. Distributive property, combine like terms, move variables to the same side, and isolate the variable by using the inverse operation. Okay, so those are the 4 steps that we're using. The first step is distributive property. So you are going to do distributive property first. You have distributive property here. Notice how there is a -4 in front of there's a minus sign in front of the 4. So you're going to distribute a -4 to what's in the parentheses. So you always take the sign or the operation in front of the number. So this is -4 times v, -4 times 8. And remember, guys, if you don't remember put this over here. If you have your calculator handy, because if you forget, simple math, use your calculator to help you, okay? All right, here we go. We're going to use distributive property first. I'm going to bring everything down. Here I get -4 times v, which is -4v. Then I get -4 times a +8. That is a -32. Questions about distributive property. Questions about distributive property. Questions about that. All right. Step number 2 is to combine like terms on each side. On this side, there's nothing to combine. It's only one number there. On this side of the equal sign, what can we combine on this side of the equal sign? Yemalef, make sure your camera's on, babe. What can we combine on this side of the equal sign here? Anybody? Okay, good. We can combine the 8v and the negative or -4v. What's 8v minus 4v? Very good, 4v. Excellent job. So we put 4v here and bring everything else down. So we did the second step, which is to combine like terms. Any questions about that? We combine these. So now we're moving to the next step, which is to move the variables to the same side. Well, we don't have variables on both sides, so we skip that step. Lastly, we isolate the variable. We get v by itself. Remember, when you isolate that variable to get v by itself, get rid of all numbers that you can add or subtract to get rid of, okay? Get rid of all numbers that you can add or subtract to get rid of, all right? So now, what am I going to get rid of first here? Am I going to get rid of the 4 that's attached by multiplication or the minus or -32? Which am I going to get rid of first? Anybody? Very good. How do I get rid of a -32? Anybody? Very good. We're going to add 32 to both sides. Excellent job, sweetheart. All right. So you're going to add 32 to both sides. So we got 8 plus 32. What is 8 plus 32? Remember, I told you if you had some difficulty with the math here, that you could type it in your calculator. You could say 8 plus the 32. Anybody know what that is? Good. It's 40. Great job. Okay. So here, this is gone because -32 plus 32 is 0. So we are left with 4v. What is, or how do we now solve for v? How do we get v by itself now? What are we going to do? What are we going to do? Anybody? Okay, good. Since the operation between 4 and v is multiplication, the inverse or opposite of multiplication is division. So you're going to divide by 4 on both sides. Great job. What is 40 divided by 4? What's 40 divided by 4? Say 10. Good job. Very good. So V is equal to 10 because 4 goes into 4 one time. So this gives me 1V or just V. And again, 40 divided by 4 is 10. Excellent job. I'm going to pause for the calls. All right. So I want you to do this one on your own. I want you to do this one on your own. I'm going to pause for the calls. Let's see if we got the right answer. We got a couple answers that are in the chat. We got someone that's got -8 and negative and +1. Okay, I don't see any other answers. All right. Okay, so let's look and see what we have here. You're going to distribute the 4 to both numbers in the parentheses. It's a +4 because there's no operation in front of it. So you got +4 times a -1x. So that's a -4x. Then you got +4 times a +4. That's a +16. Bring down the equal sign. Bring down the 12. Okay. The next step, combine like terms on each side. I don't have any terms to combine on either side. Move the variables to the same side. I don't have variables on both sides, so it's nothing to move. Lastly, isolate the variable. Get x by itself. You're always going to get rid of numbers or terms that you add or subtract to remove. So here we're going to move this +16 by subtracting 16 on both sides. When we subtract 16 on both sides, this is gone. 16 minus 16 is 0. So we're left with -4x. And on this side, 12 minus 16, it's 4 short, so that's a -4. Now to get x by itself, the operation between -4 and x is multiplication. The inverse of multiplication is division. So we're going to divide both sides by a -4. When we divide both sides by a -4, -4 goes into -4 one time. So this is 1x. Same over here. -4 goes into -4 one time. So our answer here is x is equal to 1. So we did get someone that had that right. Very good. Excellent job. All right. So let's look at this next one here. I'm going to do this one and you'll do this one. Okay. So we have, again, distributive property is first in this equation. We have a -8 or a -8. So you're going to distribute this minus or -8. You're going to multiply it to both numbers in the parentheses. If I'm moving too fast, please let me know and I will slow it down. When I multiply -8 times both numbers in the parentheses, first I'm going to go ahead and bring this down. Okay. A -8 times a +1 is a -8, so that's going to be -8. A -8 times a +7n is going to be a -56n. Bring down my equal sign and bring down my -8. Any questions about that so far? Okay. Now we want to combine like terms on each side. That's that next step. And remember, this is where I'm getting my steps from, okay? So when I combine like terms, what terms are alike on this side of the equal sign? What terms are alike here? Anybody? Okay, good. -5n and a -56n. What's -5n minus a negative? No. -5n minus 56n. What is that equal to? Come on, somebody. I know it's a negative. Remember what I told you. You can say again. Not quite. Almost. That was a really good try. We got a -5. Remember that? And we got minus 56. Okay? That's a -61. Okay? We're going to bring down, oh, I forgot to bring down this -8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. All right, so now what do we do to get n by itself, to isolate the variable n? Because remember, we don't have variables on both sides, so we skip step 3 and we just go to step 4. Isolate the variable. How do we get n by itself? What are we going to move first? Are we going to move the -8 or the -61? Anybody? You get rid of. Very good, the -8. How do I move the -8? How do I move a -8? Okay, good. I add 8 to both sides, okay? So when I add 8 to both sides, here this is gone, and I'm left with a -61n. Bring down my equal sign. What is -8 plus 8? What is that equal to? Very good, 0. So now I need to get rid of the -61. The -61 is attached to n by multiplication. So in order to get rid of that, I have to do the opposite of multiplication, which is to divide. So I'm going to divide both sides by -61. When I divide both sides by -61, -61 goes into -61 one time. So this is 1n or just n. 0 divided by -61 is 0. So my answer for n is just 0. Questions about that? I'm going to pause for the calls, and I want you to do this next problem here. All right, so here, guys, this is what we're doing. Distributive property is first, and remember, we're using our rules. Distributive property is first. So we're going to distribute. We got 8, and it's a +8 because there's no sign in front of it. +8 times both numbers in the parentheses. So that's going to give us +8 times +4 is what, y'all? Good. So we have 32k. Then we got +8 times a -4. What does that give us? Good. A -32. Bring down the equal sign. Bring everything else down. Good job. Any questions so far? We got a lively audience today. Oh my God, so wonderful. All right, so now we are going to combine like terms on each side. We're going to combine like terms on each side. So when we combine like terms on each side, we decide if we're going to move the 32k or the -5k. Which one would you prefer to move? Would you prefer to move the 32k or the -5k? Oh, that is so good, Maria. You're right. We're going to move the 5k, okay? She said we're going to add 5k to both sides. That is so good. So we're going to add 5k to both sides. Great job. When we add 5k to both sides, what does that give us on this side right here? What'd you say again? Very good, Aaron. He said this is going to give us 37. So this is 37k, and we're bringing down the -32. Good job. Right? Let's look at this side. What are we going to get on this side of the equation? Oh, I see a lot of hands. Oh my God. Let me see. Who am I going to choose today? Nicest. What are we going to get, nicest, on this side of the equation? Very good, nicest. She said this cancels out, and you're left with a -32. Excellent job. All right, so now what are we going to do to get k by itself? We got to isolate k. How are we going to do that? Oh, I see a lot of hands on this one too. Let me see. Jocelyn, what are we going to do to get k by itself? She's right, y'all. We're going to add 32 to both sides. Okay, so when we add 32 to both sides, this is gone, and we are left with 37k. Bring down our equal sign. And on this side, what are we left with on the other side, Yamaleth? Very good, Yamaleth. 0. So now what are we going to do to get k by itself? How do we get rid of that 37, Jacob? Excellent job. We're going to divide both sides by 37. So when we divide both sides by 37, this is going to give me 37 goes into 37 one time. So this is 1K. 0 divided by 37. What does that give us, Caitlin? Very good, Caitlin. 0. So your answer is 0. So a couple people got it right in the chat. Any questions, comments, or concerns? All right, folks, you're going to do the last two on your own. You're going to do the last two on your own. Actually, since this one is a little bit longer, I'll do this one for you. You're going to do that one on your own, okay? All right, so let's do this one together. The first step is distributive property. Do not get intimidated or don't be bullied by a problem that looks like this. It's not a big deal. We're just going to do one step at a time. The first step is distributive property. So we're going to distribute. Look at this. We got 5 and we're going to multiply it times both numbers in the parentheses there. And it's a positive 5 because there's no operation in front of it, okay? We're also going to distribute this negative or minus 4. So we're going to multiply negative 4 times both numbers in the parentheses there. Any questions so far? We all right? Okay, good deal. All right, so here we're going to multiply 5 times a 2x. What does that give us? Great job, 10x. Then we have 5 times 6. What does that give us? Great job, 30. Positive 30, so we're going to put plus 30. Excellent job. Bring down your equal sign here. Now we're going to multiply a negative 4 times both of the numbers in the parentheses. So we have negative 4 times a negative 5. What's negative 4 times a negative 5? Anybody know? Great job, Jacob. It is positive 20. Okay. Now we're going to multiply negative 4 times a negative 2x. What does that give me? Okay, that gives me a positive 8x. Excellent, excellent, excellent job, Gregory. All right, now we're going to bring everything else down. Great job. Everything else down. Now we're going to combine like terms. I'm going to combine like terms. How do I know to do that, Miss Reyes? Because that's what my steps say. Combine like terms next. So we're going to combine like terms. We cannot combine these two terms on this side because they are not alike. So let's look at the other side. What terms can we combine on this side? What terms can we combine over here, RJ? Very good, RJ. The 8x and the 3x. Great job. What does that give us, RJ? Very good. 8, 9, 10, 11. So we have 9, 10, 11. We got 11x. Oops, sorry, I forgot the plus, y'all. Bring everything else down. All right. Great job. Okay, so now we're going to move the variables to the same side because we have variables on both sides. How do you know to do that, Ms. Reyes? Because I'm reading the steps. Move the variables to the same side. So I'm going to move the smaller one. I'm going to move the smaller one, okay? So I'm going to move this 10x to this side. This is a positive 10x. Look at the sign in front of it. So I'm going to do the opposite of that, which is to subtract 10x, just to move it to the other side. When I subtract the 10x, on this side, I'm going to get 0, and I'm left with 30. Bring down my equal sign. On this side, I get 20. And on this side, I'm going to get a positive 1x or just x. Questions about that? Okay. Now, in order to get x by itself, Leslie, what do I do now to get x by itself? Okay. Good job. I'm going to subtract 20 on both sides, okay? Good job, Leslie. When I subtract 20 on both sides, I get 30 minus 20. What is 30 minus 20? Anybody? Very good. 10. So I get here, this is gone. 20 minus 20 is 0. And I'm left with just the x. So x is equal to 10. Now I want you to do this one on your own, okay?